The
Business
Oddcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Business Oddcast. It's episode 30, and this month we are talking about executive dysfunction, what it is, how it appears, how you perhaps work with it, work around it, and deal with it. Some lived experience, some interesting anecdotes, and I promise you some wild tangents. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stuart Morrison, and this is my fabulous co-host,
Tangent Queen Hannah.
Tangent
in the
Queen
house.
Hannah in the house. Fantastic new month, 1st of April. Well, it's not the 1st of April, but, you know, April the 1st.
Yeah.
Executive dysfunction does make you feel like a bit of a fool.
Yeah. I'll try not to cry.
Don't. So what is the actual topic of this month's Business Oddcast?
Okay, Stu. So the topic this week is what I've called the inbox is lava. So, you know,
Okay.
it kind of does what it says on the tin there.
Yeah.
Do you remember the kind of floor is lava game where I used to play it with my stepbrothers
Oh, yeah,
and my
yeah.
brother, and you'd end up with like a sofa cushion wrapped around your head when you're trying to get off the floor. And all quite traumatic, quite honestly.
I used to play trying to get from my bed to the sofa down the stairs without touching the carpet. Carpet is lava.
How did that work for you,
I
Stu?
broke a door off its hinges.
So, bearing in mind that, you know, the broken door off the hinges, I'm likening that little memory, that little traumatic memory to the inbox, to our
Oh.
inboxes. So, I think for a lot of us, the inbox can feel like it needs a big old sign on the door that says "Do not enter." Only, you know, here be, whatever that phrase is.
Here be dragons.
Here be dragons.
Yeah.
That's the one. I was trying to be funny and I couldn't remember the second half of it.
Here be dragons.
Ah, Jesus. So admin, right? Admin, which is basically what the inbox kind of is in many ways.
Yep.
To many would just be a small thing that you just need to chip away at during your day, but actually to a lot of us it feels utterly bloody enormous. Because the inbox isn't just messages, right? It's not just, hello Hannah, how you doing? You know, sending some good vibes your way. It's literally kind of tone, expectations, micro decisions, invisible social regulations. And this episode tackles the kind of digital paralysis without shaming avoidance, by the way, because if you've got to avoid your inbox, then I'd recommend you don't do it too long. My daughter's got about 76,000 unread emails in her inbox.
Oh, I've got about that.
See, that literally, knowing that somebody I gave birth to and one of my awesome friends have loads of unread emails, just messes with my brain to a point where I want to break into your house and read all your emails for you.
Yeah, but the unread ones are the ones that are just processed. Like, you know, your WordPress website, blah blah blah, has been updated. What's the point? I don't even want to read it. I just mark as read, file. Done.
I can't though, because then they show up as a number. Like, you've got
mark as read.
Oh,
then
okay,
they go
yeah,
away.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're winning a bit better than I
No,
am.
I'm not. It's when you see the number next to my inbox, you.
Oh,
I
actually
tried
feel a
inbox
bit
zero.
sick.
No, I tried inbox zero. It didn't work.
So
It went from inbox zero to fuck inbox zero.
set fire to inbox
About
zero.
a week.
So, well, I'm going to share some of my
Go on.
weird inbox things. But needless to say, every Saturday, generally a Saturday, I go into my inbox, and there's never that many in because I am a filing. Well, I was going to say filing queen, but I think I'm just a filing lunatic. I go in and I sort it by sender, and then I delete or unsubscribe all the shit that I get sent. And then I kind of, I won't bore you with the details, but you can see where I'm going.
Yeah.
There's a lot of OCD going on there for me. But the first point really is kind of why small tasks when it comes to the inbox can feel absolutely massive. And the bottom line is that an email isn't one task. It just totally is not one task. It's multiple cognitive steps that are all layered together in a kind of often really painful way. And
I can give you a top tip for this.
Yeah?
Straight away.
do it.
Oh, well, it might not be a feature on all inboxes, but on the Google inbox, you can snooze an email.
Oh, what a sender. Just snooze a sender.
No, so like I was sent an email for a support request, and it was an unurgent support request. I must stress that. And I responded as soon as I saw it to the person saying, I'll pick this up Monday. Then when I came back out into the inbox, I just clicked snooze and told it to hide the email until Monday, where it will show up at the top of your inbox again.
Oh,
So
that's
I punted
good.
it to Stuart on Monday, and he'll deal with it on Monday. Don't have to think about it.
That's completely genius, because like Stuart on Monday might well have got his shit together a bit better than Stuart on Friday.
Because and this is, oh God, it's just so much that when you look at it, you're like, why didn't I know all this stuff? But I will have the spoons and the focus to deal with it on Monday. On a Friday, I don't. I am basically the caretaker today. On a Friday, we're recording this on a Friday, and this doesn't feel like work. Or it certainly doesn't feel like
this is day off stuff.
The technical work of having your head in code, moving servers, thinking about all of the impact of all of that can just feel overwhelming. And by the time I get to Friday, my brain, and as I've aged and gone through several burnouts, my brain just goes, I can't cope with that 5 days a week. So Friday will be a creative day. It will be a writing day or a whatever day. So if something comes into the inbox that is high digit frequency stuff, then I will, Stuart Monday can deal with that. I
think that sounds incredibly wise. I'm 100%. I'm putting that in my brain, saving that for later.
Well, it's like anything, if you haven't got the energy for it, why do it badly?
Yeah.
And badly for me means consequences for customers. And I'd rather avoid a consequence for a customer by just delaying it, especially when you can communicate that. And I appreciate that some things are emergencies and they need dealing with, but not everything is. Triage your inbox.
Oh my goodness. If you take one thing from this Oddcast today, it's that triage your inbox.
Stick around.
Thing.
There's plenty more.
There is so much more. I mean, so for me personally, one of the things about my inbox that feels the biggest is the context switching. So for me, because I'm basically the person that can't say no, I'm like the chair of the parish council. I'm a mother, obviously. I've got my personal emails all coming into the same inbox with different accounts. It's mayhem. I can sort them, by the way, for the different accounts, obviously, but they're still all dropping into the same bucket. But for me, if I see a client email, then my brain says, well, is that the client that really prefers to be answered immediately, or is that the client that's pretty chill and won't be there on a Thursday? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It isn't a case of there's an email, open it up. What shall I do? Process it, file it, stick it on for later, whatever. It's a scanning, triaging thing of just scanning through the emails first and thinking what's most important. Oh, but I must reply to this because I still got that to do. And it's this constant tick, tick, tick of my brain analysing every element. So that takes a lot of toll. That takes a lot of toll emotionally. It starts all the decisions and trying to prioritise, and it's chaos.
Well, let me offer you some further chaos.
Thanks. I need that, Stu.
For me, it doesn't start by looking in the inbox. It starts when the notification arrives. Then you get. I mean, who these days has their phone ringer on? Nobody has their phone ringer on.
No autists.
No phone ringer on, and I have no notifications, especially for emails. That's because I have to know before I put my head in the inbox that I have the emotional regulation and the energy to deal with whatever is in there. And so I tend to not deal with my emails first thing in the morning because it will just run away with my day. When somebody said, well, you shouldn't answer your emails first thing in the morning, my brain just goes, but I've got to because people are waiting. Yeah, well, if they've waited overnight, do you know what I mean? They can wait for a few hours more. And customers all know, and again, this is your mileage may vary, but customers know that if it's an emergency, they text me. They email me, but they text me, can you look in your inbox? At which point I will look in my inbox. But that anxiety over a notification, I've had oh, here's some confessions. I've had notifications that I've got an email from a customer and instantly get that gut churning, sick feeling. Oh my God, what's all this about? They're going to be really angry with me. They're going to be really annoyed with me. Their website's probably down. And it's not. It's something fairly benign. And they've just texted me because they just want a quick response. And all of that pent up, it's like a dam bursts because you're holding all that stress in. And then you go, oh, pointless. Pointless waste of all that energy. But no matter how much I try and train my brain to go, it's all going to be all right. It's going to be fine. How do you know it's going to be fine? Because everything up to this point has been fine. You have coped 100% with every crisis you put in and you didn't die. But that anxiety over that initial notification when you spot it, or, you know, you go in your inbox for one email and you see 6 and you're like, oh, no, I can't deal with it. So I've set rules around it, which is I will answer emails at around about 10 o'clock. I'll have a quick look just before lunch just to make sure that there's nothing sat there waiting for me. Also messages from my developers, see if they need anything whilst I'm going to be away for an hour. Then again in the afternoon, probably not the immediate time I get back into the office. I'll get on with something and then maybe look around about 2-ish, and then again before the end of the day 4-ish. So I'm only checking my emails 2 or 3 times a day, unless I'm waiting on a client for a specific email or a supplier for a specific email, and then I can't. I live in the inbox. I'm staring at the inbox,
sitting on the edge of it, like
just waiting. Refresh. I'll go make a coffee on my phone. Refresh,
just staring
refresh. But I can't get past it. You know, it's like my brain needs the answer to unlock it doing anything else. It's ridiculous. This, you know, it's like, is there anything worse than having a meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? You're not getting anything done in the morning. You're just thinking about the meeting. And when you come back after lunch, you've got an hour to waste before the meeting. And it just feels like you're constantly just moving stuff around on your desktop.
In complete contrast to your brilliant strategy of kind of checking at certain times and not constant, other than, like you said, if you're waiting for a specific email. In contrast to that organisation, which I'm now going to try and take on board myself, I can't go into the following day with any emails that I haven't dealt with. So sometimes I'm dealing with emails at 11 o'clock at night.
Ooh.
And then when I reply, I schedule them for a random time the next morning so that my client doesn't think I'm a freaking lunatic emailing at 11 o'clock at night.
No, I don't care anymore. I just don't.
Be more Stu.
I saw your email at 10 o'clock at night and I decided I'd respond to it because I just needed it out of my head. I'm not going to tell you that.
Oh,
but
I'm still pretending I'm normal, Stu.
But I'm not looking at my inbox at 10 o'clock at night.
and that, you know, that I'm not advocating, by the way, anybody listening, watching, it's a stupid freaking plan to be going through your emails at 10 o'clock at night. For goodness sake, just go and watch some shit on telly. Do not be looking at your emails. But I have the kind of nervous system, probably, or certainly brain, where if I know it's in there and I know it's something I could tick off the to-do list, the demand list in my brain, and I've got some energy, and I often haven't, but if I've got some energy at that point in the evening, at night, then I'm doing it because it's one less thing. Because I live in a constant state of a tick box of lists in my brain.
I tell you what it's like in my brain. I don't know if this is the same for you. It's like walking up a down escalator.
Yes.
You never get to the top of the to-do list because there's always somebody somewhere putting something else on it. Would you do this? Oh, I just thought I had 5 minutes to myself to do my self projects.
I just want, yes. Oh my gosh, it literally is that. And sometimes I can be heard in the Logan household muttering to myself, life's just a fucking conveyor belt, a painful hamster wheel where like you keep slipping and there's spiky bits on the floor. Sorry, that feels like Hannah's having a breakdown in the middle of the podcast.
Let the toxin out. Let it out.
It's just one of those days, listeners, readers,
one of
whatever
those
you are.
years,
Not
one of those
readers.
lives.
Oh my gosh. So does that bring us, I think, probably to the third point, really, which...
avoiding everything.
The avoidance, as I've liked to call the avoidance snowball.
Yes.
So...
It's suddenly you've got 20 unanswered emails and you can't answer any of them. It's like, oh...
You're just sitting on the floor crying, surrounded by emails.
Do you get this? The shame of it.
Oh.
So you've got the stress of it, but also you start shaming yourself. like, oh, I'm just such a bad person. I can't get this shit together. Why can't I get my shit together to just answer a fucking email?
So the thing, we've kind of established a bit that actually when it comes to answering emails quickly, because of my neuroses or my obsessiveness on this subject, I am generally pretty good. But recently I slightly dropped the ball and I found myself, I think it was yesterday probably, emailing or replying to at least 6 emails to do with, it wasn't to do with work, it was to do with stuff with my parish council and things. And every one I was like, I'm so sorry for the delay in my response. And I thought, and in the end I was cutting and pasting the same intro to my, I'm so sorry, it's been one of those weeks. And I just think, you touched on it, the shame. I know that no one cares, everybody replies, oh, don't be silly, Hannah, it's only been 24 hours. And yet it's not really about other people being cross at me. It's the internal shame. It's, I've got a thing in my head that's saying it's not good enough, Hannah. Normally you reply within, within half a day at least.
Oh, the Sergeant Major.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, the Sergeant
She's
Major
a bitch in my
leaning
brain.
across your shoulder with his cane under his arm going, when are you going to answer?
I think the point is as well, that the longer that avoidance drags out, it just increases that dread, doesn't it? And then, it's in a cycle of dread, avoidance. And often I find that I'm dreading something, and then when I eventually do summon up the energy to reply, it's not a problem at all. It's a total non-problem.
Yes.
So I've kind of put it off. And I don't know why, because generally my emails are, did you do this? Oh, yeah, I did actually. I'll send it across to you. None of them are like, have you found the cure for cancer? And I'm like, oh, shit, I had, but I didn't tell anybody. And now, none of those are life-changing dramas. They are literally general admin emails that just require simple reply. And the more I avoid it, the more that kind of backlog in your brain, that wrong way round conveyor belt or elevator, the compounded guilt, the mental noise, the noise of an unopened email is literally like a wind chime in my brain.
Oh, yes.
Multiple wind chimes, and we know how we both feel about wind chimes. That's another episode, people, but yeah, we've both got an unusual...
Wind chimes and sneezing.
Oh my goodness. I think
if you've just thrown a shoe at whatever device you're hearing this on.
I think I said to you, Stuart, the other day, like, if there is a hell, and who knows, we won't get into that topic right here and now. If there is a hell, then it involves me sitting in a very slow-moving car behind a caravan on an endless motorway with like 20 wind chimes just jingly-jangling in the back of the car. Holy crap. Can you imagine? Wind chimes make me visibly angry and super anxious. I'm not going to go off on that tangent.
I know what you're getting for Christmas
forever.
now.
You know what you'll be getting back if you give me one of those. I'll be inserting it into your nostril if you give me a wind chime.
It'll come back at your head. Yeah.
So, in summary of avoidance, it just, for me, it can create a fear of opening that inbox. And I think your tip, Stuart, on kind of turning off the notifications and actually allocating, being in control of when you check them.
Again, red rope around your time. Switch off the notifications, put it in aircraft mode, do what you need to do, but step away from the hurly-burly.
You and I are literally before and after, aren't we?
I have been there though. I have had every single notification known to man, all of the apps. I've got to have all of the apps where people can get in touch with me. That's why I'm not on LinkedIn so much. It's just a bunch of people who haven't got any work looking for work. I've got plenty of work. I don't need to be on LinkedIn. It's the classic. If you're going to all the networking meetings, how busy really are you?
That is a very good point. Oh my goodness.
There's nothing like telling a customer that they have to wait for them respecting your time. It very quickly marks out the customers that you want to work more with than those who don't respect you. And respect is at all levels. So if I say to you, you're going to have to take a ticket and wait, if you want me to do it, you're going to have to take a ticket and wait. I'm not going to apologise for that. You wanted me to do it. There's plenty of other people out there. I can put them in touch with you.
That is really, really good advice. And in fact, in recent weeks, I've definitely been trying that on for size, and it does work. It does work. That will come as no surprise to you because you've been doing it for a long time. But it works because, like you said, somebody the other day asked me to do a bit of work. Old Hannah would have been like, "Oh, okay, I'll stay up all night and do it." But actually, I said, "Yeah, sure, but this week's rammed for me, so it's going to be sort of end of next week probably." At that point, they've got a choice. Oh, I need it quicker. Well, then I've got a choice. Do I move things around or do I let them find somebody else? Pulling myself out of what I was doing to look at an email and then deal with the pressure, because there's a little person in the back of my brain going, you need to reply now, otherwise they'll see that you've opened it and then they'll think you're shit. So there's all of that going on.
But there's also the opposite of that, which I touched on, is if you're waiting for an email, you can't get into the deep work because you're waiting for the email.
Just paralysis
It's
all
just
round,
like-
task paralysis. Oh, it's exhausting. And also, if you've pulled yourself out of that deep work to answer or deal with that email, then trying to get back into that deep work, because your brain is like, hang on a moment, I was in this world and now and then I was in efficient email reply world and now I need to get back. It's
transition. You see, it's a transition.
Utter chaos.
And if you're no good with transitions and you're expecting your brain to transition into email mode and back out of email mode like that, it's always going to be a hiding to nothing.
And it kills the momentum, right? Because sometimes when we're literally whizzing down the hill on a skateboard, like, woohoo, I'm on fire. Oh, I had to stop. I had to fall off the skateboard and answer an email.
Yes,
now
it's
I've got
exactly
to get back on the skateboard and start them. Oh.
If you fell off the skateboard, do you think you're going to want to get back on the skateboard anytime soon?
No, you're not.
No.
Oh, and the cognitive residue. I hate the word residue. It feels a bit gloopy and sticky, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
The cognitive residue of having to dip in and out and change context on the work that you're doing and the mode that you're in. Because my brain feels like there's kind of a lot of different versions of me. And sometimes I'm in like corporate Hannah. Well, I try and avoid corporate Hannah because she's a bit of a bitch. But sometimes I'm in like smart, sensible Hannah and I'm with a client or conversing with a client where they do expect an element of sensible about me. Good luck with that. How did I attract a client like that? Then I've got the clients where I can just be my natural born awesome self.
Yep.
And all of those take that kind of cognitive toll because you're having to, which one am I in? Am I in the one that swears a bit? Is that the mode I'm in? Or am I in the mode where I just need to say stuff like moving the needle and all that corporate shit? So, you know what I mean? You're flipping between. It sometimes feels like, which version am I? It's like a spinning wheel of lots of different Hannah faces.
Yeah.
You're not relating because you're so much better than me at this stuff.
I hear it and I have been there.
Yeah.
And you've got different masks for different people.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, there is still some of that, especially with new people who don't really know me. I try and mask as best I can, but it's like me going to a mask ball and carrying the mask around in my hand and occasionally
dropping it on the floor.
Occasionally, where did I leave it? Has anyone seen my mask? I put it down over here somewhere. I've got to a point where if you don't like it, leave. Get out of. I'm not forcing you to work with me. It's not mandatory. It's not a government decree. It's like, if this isn't a productive relationship, we're both better off if going in the opposite directions. Of course, there will be guilt and shame in my head forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next point is the constant containment of all of it, of like having a tab open, flashing at you, but you're trying to get on with work and trying to not think about it. I mean, we've talked about this hyperfocus. How, as somebody who is perhaps more prone to dipping into the inbox, how do you contain it? How do you stop yourself from refreshing and checking your phone every 5 minutes, or thinking, even if you don't check your phone, thinking, oh, I haven't checked my emails for 5 minutes?
Yeah. The answer to that is quite badly, Stu. That's how I cope. That's how I deal with it. It does occupy space in my brain all day, if I'm honest. When we finish this, the first thing I'll do is check my messages on my phone and check my emails. It doesn't mean that I will reply, but I will just scan them. I won't open them, otherwise they'll know.
Okay,
I will scan them.
Let me ask you this. I kind of do something similar. I don't check my phone religiously, but if I check it, I've got to action it, because otherwise it will be in my head and I can't. It's like the noise increases tenfold. And if I know that there's a message and I've not looked at it, that's noise. So it's almost like I don't need to know I've got any messages until the point I'm ready to actually respond to those messages, if there are any.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
So I suppose, sorry, this is not exactly answering your question, but I suppose generally I have a feeling in my brain for example, if there was a massive project that I was right in the middle of, and I know, maybe I would know, oh, today I'm going to get an email about, whether the site worked properly or whatever, then I would be more alert for checking my emails and knowing that I might have to respond quite quickly, because it will be in my brain, oh, I'm waiting for that reply, or it's a day where I know that a client is going to want me on call a bit more. To be fair, I've always been, to my detriment a lot of the time, but I've always been pretty much incredibly organised, because I've forced myself to overcompensate and go too far the other way. That's an episode for another time, but because the toll is just taken on me at that point.
I get my stress from the unknown unknowns.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that I haven't checked the inbox. It's what could be waiting in the inbox. It could be my website's down, but then my brain goes, yeah, but they would phone you. They know to phone you. So what could it be? Somebody angry at me for say, it's almost like the rejection sensitivity is so high that if I think about it for too long, or don't look in there for too long, it's like the inbox is laden with stuff that's just going to trigger my RSD.
Yeah,
but it's not. That. It never is. The worst is somebody like, oh, following up on the email that I sent last week. Have you had a chance? And you're like, oh shit.
I love those. Luckily, I don't get too many of them anymore. But I love those kind of passive aggressive. I'm not sure if you saw my email. So the next point really is something that you've touched on, or we've touched on already. But the idea of kind of having templates. I've done that for some clients, some kind of email template, response templates, because that removes any ambiguity about, oh, how am I going to reply to this? If it's an email that's like, can you tell me more about X, Y, and Z? Oh, I've got a template for that just gives you a synopsis of what I do.
Love a template.
I love a template.
Love a template, and I love a process.
Oh, they're
and
both
you know what?
Beautiful.
A process that has templates.
It's like explode brain at that point.
As Harry Hill, the comedian, says, you've got to have a system. Got to have a system.
And when you've got that system in place, you're kind of, it's reducing that kind of decision friction, because it's making all the admin of emails and stuff manageable. I was going to say completely manageable.
Decision fatigue is an actual and real measurable phenomena.
Yeah.
A lot of so when I was doing my training, I did it at the Royal Aircraft Establishment, which was the UK's, in fact, probably the world's foremost aircraft research establishment when it was in existence. Gave us Concorde, gave us many innovations. The first manned flight, powered flight in the UK was from there.
Nice.
Colonel Cody, Cody, Wild West show. He pitched up on Laffin's plane, as it was then, and flew his kites. with people strapped to them. I know.
How did he talk them into that?
Well, that's a good salesman
Just
right
get on
there.
there and I'll sellotape your arms. To
Yeah, just don't stop squirming.
You might die, but I'm hoping that you won't.
Well, these were circus folk, you know.
Nothing to lose at that point.
A short drop onto a quick stop wasn't going to stop them.
Oh my God.
But yes, that's the point. You got to have a system.
Yeah. And we've talked about, also we've touched on the idea of kind of filtering messages. You said that you can kind of pause them, or sort of, what was it, like put them on ice for a day
you
or
can
whatever.
snooze them.
Snooze them, that's the word I was looking for. So, here's some tips really. You can do pre-written replies, so templates for replies. You can filter your emails. That's what I do. Like I said, every Saturday morning, which is kind of sad as I say it out loud, I filter them into who sent them, and I can delete all the ones that I know will not be of any interest to me at all. Automation is also a good thing, and you can mark them as super important if you want to kind of keep them at the front of your brainium. And also, same as templates really, but sort of default responses. If you know that you get a certain kind of email, then just, if you've planned in your brain, or better still, you have a template for those responses, then just cut and paste it. And don't get me wrong, you don't literally cut and paste send. You're going to need to personalize it a bit. But if it's the same question that you're getting quite a lot, or even if it's just a holding reply, I can't get back to you on that today, but I have read your email and I'll respond whenever.
Oh, is it another top tip?
Yeah.
So, the out of office response.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You can switch that on when you're in office and put a message which says, due to the pressure of work today, my responses to emails will be triaged and I will only respond to urgent requests. Thank you for bearing with me at this time.
Yeah,
and then
genius.
At least because usually it's not how slow you respond. Usually it's not telling somebody how slow you respond. And that's good communication. Saying to you, like if you messaged me and you didn't hear back from me, like I'm talking a WhatsApp message, and you didn't hear back from me for 24 hours, you would be sending me another message, hope everything's all right. But if I sent you a message, can't chat, busy, you'd be like, oh, he'll get back to me. Yeah. He's fine. The stress kind of goes away because you're like, oh, I'm not being ignored. I'm just in a queue and he's busy.
Yeah.
And a lot of my customers have had emails like that. I was trying to explain to somebody the other day that we've got a production process, which I mentioned earlier. And that's why they had to wait. And they appreciated the explanation rather than just, I can't do it until next week. It was like, I can't do it till next week because we've got these things in place and I can't quickly alter the workflow just to fit this substantial-ish piece of work. It was half a day. We just don't have half a day until the middle of next week. And they were like, oh, okay, right, you've explained it, rather than just, I can't do that until next week. Oh, well, when next week?
Yeah, it just keeps them in the picture, doesn't it? Which
Absolutely.
I think is respectful. One of the things you sometimes when you'll message me something, especially if it's to do with the Oddcast, and you'll say, you don't need to look at this now, or this isn't urgent. And I love that because you know me well enough to know that my brain will be like, fire the engines up, lads, I've got to reply to this one. Whereas you always say, no need to reply now, or you can look at this when you get some time, and I love it because most people are not that aware of the way that my brain works, and most people don't get that it starts a little fire in my brain when I get a message sometimes.
Well, this is back to the triage thing, and if I can pre-triage it for someone by telling them, by flagging it, like labeling it, don't need to worry about this, but you need to have a look at this when you got a moment. That, for me, if somebody says that gives me so much more peace, less stress, gives me more context. It allows me to regulate myself.
Yeah.
And so I think that by demonstrating that to people, you're more likely for them to do it back to you, because that becomes the accepted communication methodology in your relationship. And even if they don't, and you consistently apply this, they will understand when you're like, I can't talk to you right now. I haven't got the bandwidth to deal with this. This will be done at this point.
Yeah, absolutely that. Because using us as an example again, although I don't necessarily have that same approach back to you, I know my RSD never kicks in with you. You're probably the only person that it doesn't, because I know if you don't reply, I know that you're busy. You're immersed in something, or you've gone out, or whatever. None of my business. But if you don't reply, I know that it isn't because you're like, fuck that bitch, just ignoring me. Delete. Maybe you are. Oh my God, Stuart. I've got to check now.
But you start scrolling back through your message going,
Yeah.
oh, did they reread that? Oh, I didn't put a comma there, so that runs on, and it might seem like I've done it. I've gone into complete paralysis in my
Yeah.
head and over and analysing how I last spoke to them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think sometimes that happens with communication, especially written communication. People read their emotional state on the page and expect that that's what's happening at the other end. And I think that is one of the bigger problems, especially for me.
Yeah.
The assumption that for some, you don't reach 58 without spotting patterns. And you know that there are times when I've done and said things, people have had what I consider an odd reaction, but it's because I haven't, for some reason in my ND brain, I've missed the social cues. I haven't done a socially accepted thing. I forgot to mention, I had it once with a customer, he had a new grandchild, and I didn't congratulate him on his new grandchild, and he got really tipped up. And it was like, I understand that, because he sent it in an email saying, oh, wonderful thing. And I just responded, and I didn't mention the baby, because I was just thinking to myself, that's really nice, fantastic. But
Well done.
What?
He didn't push it out, did he?
No.
He doesn't require a congratulations.
I didn't know what to do with the information. It's like, do I respond to this? Do I,
Can I have a photo?
baby.
That's weird.
Yeah. And you could argue, well, Stuart, you just say, oh, congratulations. Hope everyone's happy. I was in autist focus mode.
You were in work mode as well. If he's a client, yeah, you probably. I've done that, and I am somebody that really overthinks. Like, oh, what's the,
My cat coughed up a hairball. I didn't put it in the email.
So that brings us rather nicely to the final point, really. And I think you are definitely the man to, no pressure, to do this. But how do we, Stuart? How do we redefine admin success?
Well, first of all, you stop thinking about it as winning or losing. You're not winning or losing. You're on an escalator that's going down and you're trying to walk up it. It's never going to end. In fact, this revelation will change your approach, hopefully, to your business. All you're doing in your business is solving problems. That's it. Doesn't matter what your business is. Its sole structure is to solve problems. What those problems look like will depend on your business, your skill set, your customers, blah, 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 blah. Problems I solve are mostly in the digital realm. Sometimes they're in the business structure. Sometimes they're in the person's head. But the problem is a problem, and I solve that problem. I'm the tool that solves that problem. And once you understand that and start thinking of yourselves in that terms, when somebody comes to you and asks for you to use your business, which is the tool that fixes their problem, then you stop feeling like it's you, it's your business, it's a problem-solving machine that somebody has come to ask to solve a problem. You're either going to solve it in a way they say yes to, or they're going to say no and go somewhere else. The point to it is, don't beat yourself up if you can't solve their problem. Don't try and be a Savile Row tailor if you're selling off the peg suits, because you will go bust, because you can't be both of those things. So I think if you do have a highly customized process for each individual customer, then you need to either charge a hell of a lot for that to reduce the amount of stress that you'll get, or focus on a very simple and straightforward process that you can offer lots of people, that you can do click-were, what they call click-were. In other words, it just happens automatically. You've got a system, you've got a process, you've got templates, etc., etc. And those, I think, for small businesses are the two templates. Highly customized for individualization of specific problem solving, or you're buying something pretty much click-were. And I see people in trying to do both of those things and not succeeding, because a highly customized approach cannot be turned into a process. Just, and I know. How do I know all these things, Stu? Because you tried them and they nearly broke you, both financially and mentally. So now I have stripped our business back to basically hosting, because I can onboard, host, and get a website up and running. We did it this week, moved it across, and that's going to be a lot of our hosting customers are 5-8 years in. So I know that whatever that revenue is, I can predict it out for 5 or 8 years. And suddenly you go, why am I jumping through hoops to customize websites and do all of the other bits and pieces which are highly specific? Well, we do that as well, but we charge commensurately more for our time to do that than we do for the hosting, because the hosting is, once you're on it, I don't have to think about you. A good hosting customer is one I never speak to. And the other way around, a good hosting company is one you never have to speak to. Your website is just there, it just works, it just does what it says. Nobody ever complains about it being slow. It's
a beautiful thing.
So I think that there are things that you discover when you've been in business a long time. There are things that you are willing to do, things you aren't willing to do. And it's toilet paper and tea bags and non-customization. And by that, I mean things that people will buy week in, week out. They don't think about it. You don't have to sell it to them. They're just going to buy it. Okay. Then you build a moat around that. So you find something that means that you're not just a commodity, because then you're just at the will at the market. And then you sell that thing to those specific customers that want it. Our specific thing at the moment is onshore UK web hosting powered by green renewable energy for small businesses, WordPress. I mean, that's quite a tight niche, but all I need is 500 customers and that business will take care of itself. I never have to get involved with it. I just put somebody on it and say, answer all the emails, deal with all the rest of it. They've basically I've built them a job that I've monetized. And I think that if people thought more like that, and that's how I think, because I don't have the energy, the time, the bandwidth to deal with a job. I tried it. It broke me.
Yeah.
It's
not fun.
Having the self-employment flexibility with my time, disconnecting time from money is my first task for any business owner, because then you look at your business objectively rather than the subjective, emotional, but if I don't do this, I won't earn any money. Everyone's like obsessed with money. I don't know why. Time, ladies and gentlemen, time. You can't buy more time. Some business lessons have to be learned firsthand, but others are blatant and obvious and are just there. You know, all of the large companies that have major influence on the world have systems and processes. And if you went to Apple and said, I would like an iPod, a bejeweled iPod, and it's got to do this and it's got to have this other function, and can we have a torch on it? What are your chances of getting Apple to do that for you? Absolutely fat zero.
Yeah, a big
fat
off.
Zero. Yeah. There'll be people out there who will customize it for you, but do not expect it to be an off-the-shelf cheap item.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the point to it, that too many small business owners are trying to sell a high-end bespoke product that they have crafted for each individual customer at a knockdown, cheap as chips, compete with the marketplace price. And you will, well, guess how I know. Burnouts 2 and 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
So I've put in my notes here that inbox 0 isn't the goal. And as I'm reading that, it gives me the rage, because it is my goal, but we'll ignore that. Because actually, I guess what we're saying and what we've been saying today is that we need to redefine the way that we need to redefine how we look at the success of our admin, so our inbox. Because actually what we're really going for, and what we've talked about here today, is that it's about the regulation process, isn't it? It isn't about getting through all of them and never having any unread emails and all of that shit. It's small wins, you know. Progress counts, right? If we are not leaving everything unread, then that's a tick in the win column. And actually, we've both given you listening and watching out there, we've both given you permission that you are allowed to leave emails unread. You are allowed
Snooze them.
You're allowed to snooze them. You're allowed to, and in fact, I'd highly recommend it. Although I don't do it myself, so that makes me a hypocrite. But I'd recommend that you don't do what I do and keep looking at your phone for. It's just exhausting. Set aside some times in the day where and on the days where you are specifically waiting for an email, you might be in higher alert on that day. But generally, it's just about trying to get a bit better at managing your inbox, so that it's not so lava-like, so you don't get burnt toes every time you have a little wander into it.
Have you got any tips or takeaways for us? I've got a few. You go first.
So tips and takeaways. So remember that the admin dread, the inbox fear, is neurological. Okay,
Yep.
It is the way that
Baked
we
in.
are made, and I appreciate we are not all identical, even us spicy folk, not at all. But it is a neurological difference in our brains that means that we dread some of this stuff when somebody else may not. Remember that it's not a failing in you; it's the way you're built. And also remember that the sort of little tiny micro decisions exhaust your energy. They burn through your energy way more than you realise. So skipping from one email to the next and then back to a bit of work and then back to your inbox is just burning. It's turned the heat up to 10 and it's just burning through your energy. Also containment, like you were saying, Stu, with the red rope around your time, but actually also boundarying the way that you deal with your inbox, because actually containing the process of how you view your inbox, not being like me, staring at your blooming phone for notifications all day, that will massively reduce your anxiety around all of this stuff.
Yep.
Templates, sorry, I'm rattling through them, but templates, pre-plan some generic responses that are going to work for this stuff.
Absolutely.
And lastly, you need to set fire to perfectionism, even though she literally lives on my shoulder in her perfectly manicured. She's a much more manicured version of myself. Perfectionism worsens that paralysis, that fear, all of that inbox bullshit that we're trying to avoid here. So you need to lose perfectionism, and that's hard. I appreciate it's not a case of just kick it into the bin. It's tricky. But you need to.
Yeah. My tips are clear communication is key. I'm the type of autist who will take everything you put into your email and try and deliver on it exactly as you have asked me. If there's any wiggle room or any grey area, then I will default to either the very best practice around this, whatever you're asking me to do, or I will come back and ask so many clarifying questions. That's okay, because it's clear communication that's key. The other one that I would suggest is checking your inbox at specific times of the day, and don't check it first thing, because otherwise your day is being hijacked by everybody else's decisions. Now you can say, but they're Stuart, they're customers. They are. Your contract with your customer, deal with it early. I tell my customers, the ones that I work with in consulting, you won't get a reply first thing in the morning if you've emailed me late in the afternoon, because my email answering times are 10, 2ish, 4ish. That's it. I will dip in from time to time, especially if I'm waiting for something for a project or a clearance, but I won't obsess about it. I've sent off 2 proposals this week. Don't care. If I don't hear from them ever again, I'm never chasing them. Oh, but Stuart, no, I'm not.
How do you do that?
I'm not
Stuart?
till you buy or till you die. You get one shot. There you go, 30 days. If you don't want it, after 30 days, I'll have to have a rethink. I've recently had somebody I know really well come back to me on a proposal I sent him on the 4th of February. Today's date is much later. It was about 6 weeks later, and they're starting to talk about it. It's like, oh no, you missed the boat. I now need to reassess this proposal, and actually rereading it, I don't want to do this job. I'm now going to have to say to you, I'm really busy for the next 3 months, just to put you off.
busy for the rest of my life because you delayed your response so much.
You had my attention at the beginning of February, and I had the bandwidth and space to do the project. Now, I seriously, I would struggle to fit it in because I've got so many other things that I need to be doing. But anyway, another top tip: templates, processes, and systems. They are your friends. I know that when I walk away from editing an Oddcast or doing anything with the Oddcast, I know how to pick up very quickly because I'll know where the process stopped. So, like editing one of the episodes this week, I opened it with everything ready to go. I'd set it up so that when I opened it, I didn't have to do all those micro decisions of like, I've got to import it, I've got to normalize it, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And that's just like wading through mud to get to the good bit, you know, wading through mud to get to the lovely sunny beach of the creativity of editing. And so I do all that beforehand so that I know that when I sit down to edit. So, and it's the same with your inbox and your admin. If you set up some templates and some routines, it flies so much quicker when you know I click here, I go there, I do this thing. You know, definitely cannot extol the virtue of systems, processes, and templates. Ensure that your inbox is organized in a way that you can quickly find things. Yes, you can search, and we've got all of that sort of facility, and with AI these days, I'm sure it's only going to get better. But the ability to find an email quickly when a customer goes, you know that thing we were talking about 6 months ago? Oh, Christ, where is it? You know, oh, you can search by their email address, but if they're a good customer, that's probably somewhere close to 200 or 300 emails over 6 months. So allowing yourself to be able to quickly label and filter and file things is key to this. You know, finding data that you need months later. I was able to locate something for a customer that we did for them 4 years ago because our filing system is, well, it works. It may not work for everybody, but it works for me and my brain, and I can quickly dive into our system and find stuff. And put myself back into the brain space of like, oh, what were we doing then? Oh, yeah, we did that. Because our systems are consistent. If you you should evolve your systems, you should improve them and change them over time, but in a measured way that makes sense and is logical for me. That's how I am able to stay across terabytes of information every year. Otherwise, I would just, I don't know where I would start. I would just lose it even worse than I have, and stop at good enough. All right, so perfectionism will ruin your life, I know, because it nearly ruined mine. There is no such thing as perfect, even when you think I've proofread things and proofread them and proofread them and proofread them and checked them and used spell checkers and sent it off and then spotted a typo.
No.
Amount of times. And you know what? I used to worry about it and think, oh, they're going to think I'm an uneducated idiot. I'm going to burn in hell. They're going to come back and go, you spelt it this way. That's the American way. You know, nobody will be as detail orientated as me. It's the way it is. And nobody will spot it. Nobody will pull you up on it. It doesn't matter. The world will continue to turn. The heat death of the universe is inevitable. Stop stressing about it, man.
The other day, very quick tangent, I built a website for somebody and I checked, you know what I'm like, obsessively checked it. Anyway, sent it over, like, cast your eyes over it, please. And they said, oh, did you realise that the hero image on whatever it was page is the same images on the other? Oh my God, it's so obvious. But in the past, I would have just gone and just, set fire to myself in the garden.
Yep.
I just said, schoolgirl error. I've been looking at it so much this week that my brain did not register that is the completely wrong image. And this woman, she's brilliant, was like, yeah, whatever, just change it. Or I'll change it, whatever, she's got access. So,
and that's why we have a snagging process.
Yeah,
is the answer, isn't it? And that's why we have a snag list, and we get fresh eyes on it, and it's great to get your input. So I'm glad you're a part. That's the thing is, you lean into it and you say, you reveal your humanity. You don't try and be a machine, and you say, this is why it's a collaborative process. I'm so glad I'm doing it with you. You seem to have your eye on the detail. Everyone loves a bit of praise. Oh, come on.
Quick stroke.
Quick stroke. Everyone gets a pat. Attaboy. Medals for everyone. And that's it, really. I would suggest that you start somewhere. Start slowly. Try one adjustment. Try one thing. And I know for us neurotypes, it can be difficult to instill a new habit, especially one that feels like it's outside your comfort zone or alien to you. And if you need help with any of this, Hannah and I are more than happy to jump on a quick Zoom call and deal with whatever major malfunction you're dealing with and try and get you past it. No cost, no upfront sign up, nothing. Just literally from the details that we have on our website, get in touch, let us know what sticking point is. And who knows, we might even have you on as a guest to talk about it if you feel like it, and we'll big up your business. How about that?
Oh, that would be good.
That's good,
that would be
eh?
good.
So that's it. That's another Oddcast. How's it for you?
Magnificent.
Yeah, it's always good. I always feel like I've been in therapy.
I feel like I'm purged.
Yes.
I've purged something.
Oh,
Like the awesomeness is, yeah.
So that's it. As another Oddcast, please like, share and subscribe with whoever you have in your sphere that you think might be vaguely interested in this sort of thing. You don't have to have a diagnosis to listen, but it helps. And we'll see you next time. What's the topic for the next one, Hannah?
So the next Oddcast coming up is a guest, and I'm not going to spoil anything.
Ooh, no spoilers.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but as you know yourself, we are beginning to get guests onto our Oddcast, which
Yes.
is really exciting.
Exciting.
Really exciting. And like Stuart said, if anybody listening feels that they'd like to put themselves forward as a guest, we do have a form on the site.
We do, yeah.
So we'll just email us as well, hosts.
Yeah, all the details are under the episode or on the page or on the website or on the YouTube channel. If you can't get hold of us, it's because you're not trying.
Try harder.
Try harder.
Oh no, we just shamed the very thing that you're good enough just as you are.
Yes, but if you've got a problem, you've got to try harder because you've got to get in touch with us. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of dose of Mary Poppins spit spot.
So there you go. Yep.
Yep.
The next time you will hear us, our dulcet tones in your ear holes, it'll be with a guest.
With a guest. Fantastic. Wonderful to chat today, and I look forward to the next one. So keep your eyes on the blogs. Those are going to be coming out every other week, topped and tailed by our podcast twice a month. And if you've got any ideas or thoughts or topics you want us to cover, or you're not hearing about, or you're violently opposed to everything we've said, just get in touch. Let us know. Tell us what idiots we are. We already know.
Or if you hate us, just sod off. Go and listen to somebody else's podcast.
Other podcasts
We won't
are
miss you.
available.
We don't need your negative vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Spot the one with RSD, the worst.
So thank you very much. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Step away from PAYE. Don't do it.